All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Yeah, you can see it in the title, man. It says Minnesota is using contact tracing to track protesters as demonstrations escalate. And contact tracing, yes, it does sound familiar because this is what they were supposed to be using to track patients or possible infected people who had contracted COVID-19 or such and such. All right, but now we're seeing this being used here for protesters instead. So it says Minnesota protests are continuing to escalate and inspire similar demonstrations around the country in the wake of police killing an unarmed Minneapolis man this week named George Floyd. Notice how all this is happening in just 1 week. Minnesota officials say they are using contact tracing to better understand who the protesters are and where they're coming from. Contact tracing has previously been used as part of a comprehensive coronavirus response. Now, the thing that remains is, what do you think they're going to do when they find out, or they, as they put it, better understand who the protesters are? They find out maybe you were looting, or you've stolen, or you've set something on fire, or you're guilty by association. You know, what do you think is going to happen to these people who get what you thought you could just go out there, protest, tear things up, and then just go back home and everything is all good? Hey man, Esau got something for you. It says as Minnesota protests have spilled across the country, fueled by protesters angered over the police killing of an unarmed Minneapolis man named George Floyd. The protests have morphed into marches and demonstrations that have turned violent everywhere, from New York City to Los Angeles. Curfews are being imposed in major cities around the U.S. at the time of this writing, and at least 8 states, as well as the District of Columbia, have requested the National Guard to assist local law enforcement. All right, that's a lot of states to request the National Guard, man. This is looking like it's about to be a national emergency. It says in some cities like Minneapolis, though, officials are starting to turn to a familiar tool to investigate networks of protesters. So you got all these people that are putting up these posts on their social media, and they're with it and they're supporting it and all that. They might come see you too. It says the tool is contact tracing, and it's familiar. It's a familiar tool in that people have been hearing about it frequently in recent weeks as an important component of a comprehensive coronavirus pandemic response. Right, this was supposed to be for the virus, right? Well, nobody's really talking about the virus anymore now. Now, people are dealing more with riots. According to Minnesota Public Safety Commissioner John Harrigan, officials there have been using what they describe, without going into much detail, as contact tracing in order to build out a picture of protester affiliations. A process that officials in the state say has led them to conclude that much of the protest activity there is being fueled by people from outside coming in. And by affiliations, they could mean people that, organize the protest with them, or as they're trying to pitch a narrative of groups that are so-called influencing, all right, influencing people to go out there and basically incite violence. And you read in Project Megiddo, it literally tells you that. Okay, you have these groups that they're gonna blame, all right, for civil unrest and race wars and stuff. And you best believe we're on that list. In fact, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz told reporters that as much as 80% of those being destructive are from outside Minnesota. Setting aside whether or not that's true, the non-protest aspect to this is the fact that it speaks to privacy concerns around contact tracing in general. Since using this tool to fight the coronavirus pandemic is by definition, um, an invasion of privacy. But once again, you have to understand problem, reaction, solution. You won't allow us to invade your privacy, So we need to do something that will allow you to allow us to invade your privacy. As long as it's in the name of peace and safety, then it's no problem, right? That's how they like to move, man. So it says contact tracers need to know personal details about you, such as who you've been around and where you've gone over a non-insignificant period of time. So they might pull up at your crib and say, "Where have you been? Where were you yesterday? Where were you last night at 8:57?" And they're not asking you those questions because they want to know what you think. They're asking you all those questions because they want to know if you're going to lie about it or not, because they already got the proof. Yeah, they probably going to show up at your door with video evidence or some form of proof that you looted a store. You were part of those looters who broke into Target. Guess what? They're at your door and they're asking you these questions. Where were you yesterday at 8:59 p.m.? You say, "Oh, I was at home." Or were you? All right, let's go. So it says, and now it's a tool that apparently is being used to build a completely different, non coronavirus related informational picture of Americans. Well, who's to say that it was really for coronavirus in the first place? Who's to say coronavirus wasn't just an excuse for them to establish a system of contact tracing, and being that it's already there and we intended to use it for coronavirus, but because things are getting very hectic out here, we can use it for this and find out who are these protesters, where are they coming from, how do we stop them? It says, and what makes this even more interesting is the fact that a CNN analysis of Minneapolis data found what appears to be the complete opposite of the assertion about out of towners. Per CNN, more than 80% of the people or of people booked into jail in Minneapolis on riot and other potentially riot related charges over the past 2 days are from Minnesota. But how much can these jail cells hold? Maybe you need to round these people up and take them somewhere other than the jail cell. Maybe somewhere like a FEMA camp, you know? It says, according to CNN analysis of data from Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, officials had earlier claimed that most protesters came from out of state. It says, meanwhile, the situation in cities around the country is continuing to deteriorate as protests multiply and escalate. Among the most recent developments of the time of this writing, the National Guard has been called up to protect the White House from protesters. Wow. It says more than 2 dozen cities in 16 states have implemented curfews. One of those, Chicago, has imposed a curfew starting at 9 p.m. and ending at 6 a.m. that officials say will be in place nightly until further notice. Starting to sound more like a martial law kind of scenario. Minnesota's governor has said he is expecting the state to see a spike in coronavirus cases as a result of crowds protesting. So they're not letting this coronavirus go. Now they were talking about a second wave, right? And things seem pretty good, right? Open things back up. People are listening. People are staying at home. But look at this. Does this look like social distancing? Hmm? What about this? Okay. So maybe this is a good excuse for them to say that because of people rioting and causing this coronavirus to spread even more rapidly, the second wave is going to be very bad. You don't know. Esau got a lot of bags in his tricks in his bag. Let's play the video and see. They got these people using bicycles to try and push these protesters off, man. They're gonna have riot shields, tanks. It says, so why are none of the locals stopping it? Look at this crazy scene of the Target looting. Do you think these people would listen to anyone? It was a scary scene. The demonization is already starting. Let me play this real quick. Wow. Hey, but you know what? This is criminal activity, right? According to the law, they are breaking the law, right? They're breaking in, they're stealing things. So if they use contact tracing to find out who is doing these things, then can't they charge them with a crime? So you thought you could just go up in here and get away? Oh, Jake. Hmm. Oh, Jake is so simple, man. So simple. All right. Let me see. All right, looks like there's a few more. It says, unbelievable. This is scary. Cops are psychopaths. See what this looks like. Oh, there you go. There you go. Bruh. Yo, man. All right, it says nearly a dozen LAPD cruisers damaged and destroyed by protesters on 3rd near Fairfax. A bus also destroyed. Let's look at that. Oh, it's playing right now. Playing games. Let me see if I could restart this. Just bear with me. All right. Okay, this video here. All right, for some reason it's not playing, so I guess we're not gonna watch that one. Maybe we could take a look at this. Rioters just found an AR. Whoa! Rioters just found an AR-15 in an abandoned police car, and a hero immediately pulled his gun and disarmed him. Let's look at this. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's just Satan, man. That's just Satan messing with the thing. But you could probably type this into Twitter or somewhere and find a video on this, but it's not letting me play it. So anyway, I'll finish it off here. It says Andy is a reporter in Memphis. Uh, hmm. Okay, this is irrelevant. All right, so it looks like that's the end of the article, man. But as you can see, it says here they're now using contact tracing to track protesters, man. So you want to go ahead and protest? Go ahead and protest, man. When they show up at your door, okay, there was this video that came out. I forgot what country it was, and the police pulled up to this man's door. They said, "Are you such and such?" And he said, "Yeah," or he tried to play it difficult. But anyway, they told him, "Look, they're gonna mail you a fine because you were at an unlawful gathering or a protest." You know, so hey man, this is the times that we coming into, man. This is the times we coming into, man. Second Ezra's 15, Second Ezra's 16, soon to be Second Ezra's 13, Isaiah 13th chapter, Daniel the 12th chapter, the first verse. All right, that's the times we in, man. Pursuant to Revelation 12 and 12, Esau's going to come down with great wrath, man. It is only a matter of time. All right. But anyway, with that, it was just a quick update, all right, on what's going on. All right. So, hey, as the scriptures say, man, we're going to watch as well as pray. Okay. We're going to watch, stay upon our watchtower and see, all right, where this thing goes. All right. But with that, I hope this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash. Until next time, shalom.